At the beginning of the 20th century, the world seemed peaceful, but beneath the surface of peace was a world of competition, power, jealousy, and distrust. The major European powers were competing for territory, colonies, and military power. Armies were being strengthened, new weapons were being produced, and military alliances were being formed. Little did anyone know that the world was about to enter one of the greatest wars in human history. On June 28, 1914, Emperor Franz Ferdinand of Austria-Hungary was assassinated in Sarajevo. This assassination was no small feat, it was the spark that ignited the bomb of war. One country after another declared war on each other, due to military alliances. In a short time, all of Europe was engulfed in the flames of war. The war divided the world into two major parties. The Allies included Britain, France, and Russia, while the Central Powers included Germany, Austria-Hungary, and the Ottoman Empire. It was not a war of one country, but a war of the world. In France and Belgium, soldiers lived in caves for months or years. Mud, rats, hunger, and fear became daily life. An attack could lead to the deaths of thousands of soldiers in a matter of minutes. World War I was the first to use modern weapons. Poison gas, tents, airplanes, and submarines made war more brutal. People were not prepared for this great destruction. 1917 The United States enters the war. New forces, weapons, and resources changed the course of the war. The Central Powers begin to weaken while the Allies grow stronger. November 11, 1918, the war ended. But the price of peace was the blood and lives of over 16 million people. Cities were destroyed, countries were devastated, and many families were left with nothing but pain. The Treaty of Versailles ended the war, but it planted the seeds of a new war. Pain, anger, and injustice led the world to World War II. World War I was a painful warning to all of humanity. The First World War is over, but its scars never go away. It did not just destroy cities or countries, but it destroyed people's faith in the future. Millions of soldiers returned home physically and psychologically broken. They had seen things that no one should see and lived things that no one should live. In Europe, the great powers that had once been powerful collapsed. The Austro-Hungarian and Ottoman empires lost their power. The world map was redrawn, creating new countries, but with borders full of disputes. The Treaty of Versailles was declared peace, but for Germany it was a humiliation and a heavy burden of punishment. Economic deprivation, anger, and suffering of the people became the opening door for the emergence of individualism and violence. The First World War showed the world that the technology and weapons that man has created can be used against humanity itself. It showed that national pride and the lust for power can lead people to their own destruction. Above all, the war was a bloody lesson. A lesson that peace is not a given and that its price is the lives of millions of people. If people do not learn from the past, history will come back to haunt them again and again. The First World War was not the end of the story, but the beginning of an era in which the world must live with scars and the silent warning that there are no winners in war, only losers. World War I is over. But its scars have not disappeared from the world. Pain, anger, and injustice are still in the hearts of many. Like a fire that has not yet been extinguished. And the biggest question is, what made that fire more ferocious? Why did the world descend into World War II? Which was even more brutal, more bloody, and more destructive to humanity? Do you want us to continue talking about World War II? Do you want to know about Hitler, Nazi, Holocaust, and the great battles that transformed the world again? If you want, please comment WW2, like this video, and subscribe channel Mystic History. Because history is not just a story of the past. It is a warning for the future. We will meet again in the next terrible story. World War II.